podcast.
Hello and welcome to PMC English. This is Ayushi and welcome to podcast. In this episode of podcast, we are going to discuss an important topic, that is stress and time management. So the basic idea of discussing about stress and time management is that how to manage time, reduce stress and increase the level of happiness. So let us welcome Mr. Veda Vyas in this episode of podcast. Welcome to PMC.
Thank you, Ayushi.
So as you heard that today's topic is stress and time management. So why is it important and why do people always juggle with this?
So if you see time management, it's like today people are so busy. I wonder if they have time to breathe. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Yeah.
So we're so busy.
Yes.
So we don't even have time to breathe. Like if breathing was not automatic, how many people would live? Right? So the basic problem here is that we're also restless.
Right.
And restlessness can be caused by fears, restlessness can be caused by number of issues. But at the core, we are restless.
Right.
And that restlessness is the cause of time management issues. Because world is perfect.
Yes.
In the sense that things happen exactly at the time they are supposed to happen. When we want to make things happen at a different time, then like sunset is going to happen at that particular time, but I want it to happen 5 minutes early. Is it that going to happen?
No.
No. So it's like that.
Yeah.
We are restless about things which are beyond our control.
Yes.
Instead, if we take a step back and really check what's happening, what's in my control, what's not in my control, then we'll be able to see how to improve the situation. It will be obvious, but the ability to step back, be patient with yourself is so hard for people.
Right.
So one of the challenges people face in stepping back is they feel that being patient is tolerating.
Yeah.
It is, I'm so stressed, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt. How can you ask me to be patient?
Right.
Right? So when this is a challenge, that there is so much restlessness, pain, sadness, anger, frustration, how can anybody be patient?
Right.
But the fact is that despite all this, we can be patient. And when we give ourselves that space. So patient is not about fighting against sadness. It's not about fighting against anger. It's not about tolerating anything. But choosing to give yourself that space.
Right.
When you choose to give yourself that space to breathe, to be in your own self, to check how do I want to be, how do I want to feel, is this the way I want my life to be? If I want to do something, how do I want to feel in that? Or am I forging ahead without even knowing what I want in that? Just because I'm motivated, just because I'm scared, or just because something will not happen, FOMO.
Right.
These are all restlessness modes. The patience is about putting it aside for a minute. And I'm not asking you shouldn't do that or do this. Whatever decision you want to take is up to you.
Yeah.
But give yourself that moment to be yourself, to feel, if I do this, how would I want it to be? How would I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the moment that enjoyment comes into picture, moment we start enjoying what we are doing, what happens to restlessness?
It just vanishes.
It vanishes. The moment that restlessness vanishes, what happens to time management?
It goes smooth.
Everything is happening automatically. There is no time management issue at all.
Yes.
So, at the core, time management issues are result of restlessness.
Right.
When we don't give ourselves space to be, to enjoy what we are doing, we rush into things because this has to be done, that has to be done, without this, this will happen, if I don't do that, I'll get fired, my boss will see that I'm a bad person. There are so many things that come into picture. These fears create a lot of restlessness. And we forget that I can actually enjoy my life.
Right. But at times it's the other way. Like, we have deadlines to reach. And what we do is that, we have more 24 hours. So we just sit, scroll down to the social media and, while watching movies and all, we waste our time. And when the time approaches and then the stress level increases, thinking that
Let me ask you a question. The so-called waste of time. Why are we doing it?
Maybe because at that particular moment of time we don't want to do that thing.
Do what thing?
That certain thing which we have to do. Like our mind says that we need to do something else.
Why? Have you ever observed?
Not really.
Check, because that's what time management is about, right?
Yes.
So if you are supposed to do something and you are doing something else, there should be a reason for that.
Yeah.
So what is the reason?
Maybe that moment of time we just want ourselves to get entertained or,
Now, the need for entertainment, what does it say? Where are you emotionally if you need entertainment?
Joy.
Huh?
Joy.
No, I am not saying you are being entertained.
Yeah.
There is a need for entertainment.
Yes.
If there is a need for entertainment,
Yeah.
that means joy is not there, right? In the first place,
Yeah.
you are not joyful, so
Yes.
you need to do something to be joyful.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what is that space that you are coming from? Because that is the reason for time management issues, you're saying.
Yeah.
So the moment you are thinking about work, what is the emotion there?
That particular work or the deadline that I have to reach.
Both. At that moment of time when you have time,
Hmm.
what is the emotion there?
I need to figure that out.
Check,
Okay.
observe.
It's just that I'm not able to figure that emotion out, but it's just that I'm not interested in that particular work at that
So
particular moment.
that not interested has an emotion. If not interested was an emotion, what would it be? If not interested was an emotion, what would it be?
A slight variation of irritation, like not interested in that particular work.
Okay,
So
the
just like
irritation.
that. Yeah.
Now, what is so irritating about it? That slight irritation, what is that about?
Because I'm not interested in that. So I'm not much bothered about that work. So that is the reason I want to switch to some other work to keep myself occupied and let go of that feeling.
Yes. So, this is a reaction to something else.
Yeah.
You don't like what you are doing, so
Switch.
switch. So that's what if you are restless to do thing without giving yourself space to feel about how do I feel about my work. See, every work with a shift can be joyful, with a shift can be painful.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now if you check what is so painful about it, can I shift it into joyfulness? And if you are able to shift that, what will happen?
Nothing seems to be irritated after that.
Right? So the challenge is giving yourself that space to feel, okay, I am feeling like I don't like my work at this point of time. What's really happening here? Where is this emotion really coming from?
Right.
If you examine that, give yourself that space, what will happen?
Nothing would bother me much about that.
Then would you have the time management issues?
Not really.
So the problem is you didn't have that space to yourself. If you allow yourself that space, most of the problems wouldn't exist. Because we are rushing in our life without giving ourselves that space, we don't even know why we don't like things. We are rushing to find enjoyment from something that we may not really enjoy also.
Yeah.
Whatever is available, which has a brand called enjoyment, we do that.
Yes.
We might not really enjoy it because everybody is enjoying, we are supposed to enjoy, we do that.
Yes.
We might actually be struggling with that also.
Maybe.
Okay? So even the so-called enjoyment turns into suffering.
Yes.
So the whole point is give yourself that space. Just acknowledge what's happening with you. If you do that, then you have an opportunity to shift, to examine what you really don't like about your work.
Okay.
And is there a chance that you can shift into really enjoying your work? If you find a chance and you shift yourself and you start really enjoying your work, then time management is solved.
But there is another aspect over here is that at that particular moment, we enjoy that moment without even thinking that we are wasting our time and so. After a day or so, we regret that why did we do that? If we would have utilized that time in a better way, then we would have been in another level. So how do we deal with that emotion?
Again, give yourself time and check. Did you really enjoy?
Yeah.
Check. If you enjoyed, why are you regretting?
Because I couldn't meet the other deadlines.
Were they so important? I thought you didn't like them.
No, I'm just talking in general.
No, that's what I'm saying. You have to acknowledge that if I don't like this, and that's why I'm doing that, I made a choice, right?
Yeah.
That what I like is more valuable to me than deadlines.
Okay, now I get it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now don't be confused about this. If you really value this, then know that it is available to you. It's your choice.
Yeah.
If you really value this and still you are doing this, then what are you really struggling with? Why are you doing this? So there is something you need to address there.
Yeah.
So you give yourself that space to examine why am I being inconsistent with myself. If you check that, is there any scope to regret?
No.
So again, that space, giving yourself that space, just 5 minutes to examine what's really happening with me.
Yeah.
Why am I being inconsistent to myself?
Right.
Some things might be easy, but the moment you check, oh, this is happening, half the problem is solved. With time, another half gets solved. Some things might be very painful. Then you might need to reach out to take help. But even for that to happen, you need to step back and see, give yourself time to breathe,
Yeah.
to live.
Yes.
Okay? So once we step back, there's a lot of time. Once we step back and give ourselves that space, there's a lot of space.
Yeah. Because there are people, who make timetables, who want to go according to the time, 1 hour to this
Again,
and that.
that's also restlessness, right?
Yes, because at the end of the day, they still land up with being
Yes.
stressed.
So the point is, in the timetable, if they have time for themselves to step back and watch what is happening
Yes.
and examine their feelings and explore.
Yes.
For some people who have blocked all their feelings are painful, they might need to reconnect with themselves. It will take a lot of effort. For them, this sort of solution might not even work. So they have to take proper therapy.
Yes.
But for some people who are connected to feelings and they are comfortable with examining their feelings, if they just step back and be patient with themselves, be compassionate with themselves, and observe what's really happening with me, even once a day, makes huge difference.
Okay. So according to you, that is one of the key to manage time as well as stress.
Yes. Just step back, be patient with yourself.
And figure out what's going wrong.
Yes. Not what's going wrong outside, but
Inside.
inside. What is the emotion that I am feeling? Why feel this way? Is this relevant to this situation or did it come from the past?
Right.
And just by acknowledging, you don't even have to solve. Just by acknowledging that I am hurt makes huge difference.
Got it. Well, that was a wonderful, a way of explaining how to manage time and stress, because in this era where people are just running and they are not even analyzing that or not even observing that where are they going wrong and what is the actual trigger point. So thank you so much for explaining that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for joining in this episode, sir. Well, viewers, we were in conversation with Mr. Veda Vyas, and I hope that your query related to stress and time management, how to do that, would have got clarified in this episode of podcast. So with this is Ayushi Farasi signing off. Stay tuned to PMC English for more updates.
Podcast.